Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another thrilling episode of the Kass Review. I'm Sarah
Meow,
Rose Caplan.
meow.
Oh, yeah. Beep, beep, beep. We're going to be a bunch of daytime radio hosts now. Perfect. We've done it. If you're still with us, my name is Sarah Rose Kaplan. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Rose Kaplan.
I'm Katalina Elizabeth Hadfield. You can find me on Instagram at She's Doing Her Best Okay. Not to be confused with She's Doing Her Best Talk, which is the same thing, but a gross misinterpretation of what I was trying to do there. Thank you,
She's
everyone.
doing her best talk, Catalina. So every week we get together and we sort of try to do our best to process the news together. Again, as we reiterate every week, this is not a weekly news roundup show. We are not journalists, and we're not experts in this.
Heck no.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, we round up some news, but it's not the news. It's just the news that we want to talk about based on our own personal opinions, biases, and correct thoughts.
Yeah. So today, we got some news that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So
what do you want to start off with?
Let's start off with the news that just broke today, maybe yesterday. I don't know. It's all a blur. Which is that the Trump administration and, those people are taking over D.C. via the National Guard. They are interweaving themselves within the city to stop bad things from happening that are allegedly happening. I got to tell you, I'm the lawyer here and I didn't do my homework. I didn't look into the legality of this because it just pisses me off too bad and I'm busy and tired. But what I can tell you is that this probably wouldn't have been able to happen if DC were a state. Right now, the District of Columbia, or DC as it is commonly abbreviated, is just its own little thingamajog that is under almost the exclusive control of Congress, which is crazy. It's a very small area in between Maryland and Virginia. There is a mayor. She sucks and doesn't do that much, and also doesn't really have any real power anyway. So it sucks. And there are thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people that live in Washington, D.C. and don't have representation in Congress or in our government nationally, but they're completely controlled by Congress, which is made up of a whole bunch of people, none of whom are from D.C. So it's because of issues like this that have existed for centuries that something as horrible as the National Guard being able to take over the city so easily are able to happen.
Yeah, there's 700,000 people who live in Washington, D.C.
That's bigger than the population of multiple U.S. states.
Yes, that is true. And this is one of my favorite games to play. So that is bigger than the populations of Wyoming and Vermont. So
wow.
That's 4
Imagine
senators.
if we could have a second Bernie Sanders. But nope.
Yeah. No.
Wow. So, I mean, one of the many things that needs to change about this country is getting representation for the District of Columbia, because it's a place where people live and deserve representation.
Yeah. And maybe we just need a new constitutional Congress, and we need to rethink this whole 2 senators per state thing that is horrendously non-representative.
Don't tempt me, Sarah. The way I would jump right into that constitutional Congress.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a state with like 35 million people in it, it's just my senatorial representation it dissolves to nothing.
Absolutely. And I live in a state with 2 million people in it. And that is the county I lived in California when Sarah and I went to law school together was 3/4 the size of the state that I live in now. And that county had point something, no, not point something percent, a small percentage of people to senator ratio compared to what I have here in New Mexico. So some things need changing. There's a little changing.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And my heart just goes out to all the people in DC who are just now subject to like further national police state. It's probably going to be a while till it gets better. Also, it's not lost on me that the city of Washington DC is last statistic I read in passing was 85% black. Like, of course, that is the city that is going to be taken over by the military because our country hates black people.
And Kat, do you know why Trump is taking over Washington, D.C. with the military?
Why, Sarah?
Well,
I mean, I do, but I want you to tell me.
you do? Well, what do you think it is?
I mean, he said it was because of all the crime and lawlessness, quote unquote. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, I'm referring
Even
to
though,
one specific crime that has led him to focus on this at this particular moment.
oh, what's the crime?
This was a brutal and unjust attack on an American hero, the 19-year-old Doge employee, Big Balls of Twitter. X.com's very own Big Balls was attacked by and beaten up by a roving gang of 15-year-olds in the streets of Washington, D.C. And I will say, in his defense, unless it turns out that this was some kind of false flag thing, it does sound like a genuinely scary moment. He and his girlfriend were out on the town, and a gaggle of 15-year-olds came up and tried to take their car and carjack them. And he pushed his girlfriend into the car, and in protecting her, was mercilessly beaten by a bunch of young teens. He says 12. Two were actually arrested by the police. There's no firm record of how many it actually was. I have a feeling, and this is not based on anything other than the fact that Big Balls is horrendously untrustworthy. I would guess 4.
With a name like Big Balls, how could you be trustworthy?
Do you want to know
Are your
some
balls even big?
things? Do you want to know some things I learned about Big Balls?
I wouldn't, but I think you're going to tell me anyway.
I am. Yes.
Good.
So
I'm prepared.
Big Balls is no longer a part of the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. He has since been made a permanent federal employee with the title Senior Advisor. He's at the highest pay grade in the General Services Administration. So GS 15. We could look up exactly how much money that means, but he is okay. Ooh, I found it. Okay. Grade 15. Great. Fantastic. So that means he's making a solid like $125,000 a year.
Oh my God, plus benefits.
Plus benefits as a advisor, as a senior
To
advisor at the
whom?
age of 19. Donald Trump, Elon Musk.
It's like a whole bunch of kids playing pretend, but instead of pretend, it's a country of nearly 400 million people.
Yep. So, Big Balls, his father, Charles Correstein, is the CEO of Lesser Evil that makes a
Charles
variety
Correstein
of...
Balls?
No.
Dang
Big
it.
Balls is an assumed name.
Oh, of course. You're telling me that
But
his dad, Charles Correstein, didn't put on his birth certificate the name Big Balls?
didn't.
So
No,
you're
his name is
telling
Edward.
me
Big Balls' name is Edward Correstein.
I can't believe you're dead naming Big Balls right now.
I'm sorry. I just think it's funny that his dad is the CEO and owner of a business called Lesser Evil that makes snacks. It makes like kettle corn and like supposedly healthy snacks.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's just silly
Okay.
to me. And it has reportedly distanced itself from Edward Big Balls Correstein since he joined Doge. Now,
Good.
a fun other little note about Big Balls is that his maternal grandfather, and I'm just going to read this straight from Wikipedia. His maternal grandfather, Valery Martinyov, was a KGB lieutenant colonel who was executed by the Soviet Union for being a double agent.
Nice. So I think it's only
Yep.
right that the kids on the street execute him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Circle of
Yeah.
execution. Wow.
So
Well,
that's cool.
that's really great. Well, you know what they say about rampant 15 or 19-year-olds when they misbehave? You know what you do, Sarah?
What do you do?
Institute a police state.
Yeah, you should institute a police state. These were, again, 15-year-olds who were beating him up. Now, an another fun little tidbit about that. 15-year-olds are minors, right?
Yeah.
You're a lawyer, you're a public defense attorney. So would a roving gang of 15-year-olds be tried as an adult at full responsibility in a court of law?
I mean, my short answer is I don't fucking know. My long answer is it really depends on the state, and it depends on the crime, and it depends on the prosecutor, it depends on the judge. So the real answer is maybe.
Yes. Well, in Washington, D.C., for now, they would not be. However, Janine Pirro, the U.S. Janine Pirro, former Fox News personality and current U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, has said that the age of legal accountability in Washington, D.C. should be lowered to 14 after these attacks on big balls. To quote her, the DC Council and the president is right. They've got to stop their coddling. Number one, we've got to lower the age of responsibility to 14. I'm tired of having these kids commit crimes.
So just so you know, Janine, if you commit a crime as a child, you still have to take responsibility. You're still put in the criminal justice system. It's just a different one. It's not like you just get off. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, just, for what it's worth, crime is down all over the country, but also
yeah,
in DC.
especially DC. It's at a 30-year low, actually.
Yeah. So the National Guard will have a lot to do.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to have a lot of employees who are really happy.
One also little note on the National Guard situation from my friend who is a member of the California National Guard, and I asked her about this and what she thought. And she said, so I'm just going to quote her because it was good. Honestly, reading about this, I was hit with a wave of fear and helplessness and frustration. The helplessness of having my job perverted in a manner so far out of my control, such that any efforts to do good felt completely overshadowed by the damage we were committing to our community and the overall social fabric of the nation. And this friend of mine was actually part of the National Guard that was brought down here to LA. So she said, I feel so much frustration watching the press conference, announcing it, and knowing that others are going to be like me, torn away from their lives to chase down ghosts.
Ooh, that's poetic. But also sad AF.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know what like protections Washington, D.C. has. I doubt it has the same kind of legal rights as a full state does. Like the California National Guard, once federalized, still was super limited on what it was allowed to do legally.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the question will be, because I don't know, this is just, I haven't looked it up. I don't know what they'll be allowed to do in DC.
Yeah. I guess if this situation continues and worsens, maybe we'll be able to share more on this podcast. In the meantime, cool is your friend, and if you're a pal who's listening from DC, I'm really sorry. That really sucks. Really, really freaking sucks. I lived in DC for 2 years.
Yeah.
I loved living there, and it's sad to see it. And I lived there during the first you-know-who administration, and it was not pleasant, but it was fine.
Joe
But
Biden.
it certainly was never a police state. No, Ronald Reagan.
Well, you're so much older than I thought.
You'll never know my true age. No. The first, the 45 admin. Well, speaking of police states, let's talk about Texas.
Okay. My
This
state,
one's
my home state.
Wow. Why, Sarah? We got to stop having personal connections to these news stories. This is a big bummer.
I know. Actually, one of the congressional districts that would be um, eliminated and redrawn would be the one where my parents live, where I grew up.
Beautiful. Well,
Hmm.
to just kind of give some context to what Sarah's talking about, they are trying to redraw the legislative map in Texas, which is typical in most states right after the census. It's a little late in the game to be doing that, but I think they're just probably doing it for fun because they have the power to do that as a legislature. And it is typically state legislatures. Every state's a little different, but it is typically a state legislature that redraws the congressional map in order to elect U.S. congressional seats to elect their representatives to office. Uh, you may have heard of something called gerrymandering, and in case you have avoided remembering what that word means up until now, I will tell you. And it's where congressional districts are redrawn such that they give a certain party a disproportionate advantage compared to the actual population and representation of that party in a state. Texas is famous for having pretty gerrymandered districts, but they are trying to gerrymander like they've never gerrymandered before. And I'm sure Sarah is probably pulling up some great statistics about that. And while she's doing that, I will tell you that in order to prevent this from happening, from these maps going through, the Texas state legislative Democrats have said sayonara, Texas, and they all yeeted themselves to Illinois to go hang out with good old Governor J.B. Pritzker. And Texas is big mad about it. And specifically, Governor Greg Abbott, Abbott. I kind of want to call him Abbott just to insult him a little bit. But Governor Greg is now trying to subpoena the legislators. A subpoena, for all you non-lawyers out there, is basically a court or judicial officer order saying, hey, you got to come to somewhere or else we will try and get you in more trouble. I don't know how enforceable those subpoenas are. From the brief amount I've read, not very, which is great. But they're big mad because they can't really do much about it. And they're not. The Republicans are just trying to double down, and instead of drawing a more fair map. They're just like, these Democrats. Pretend I said that in the tone of Dinkelberg from The Fairly Odd Parents. If you know, you know. So
Democrats. Yeah.
so that's the lowdown on what's happening, and the governor's threatening legislators. That's scary and rare and not good. And I don't know what's going to happen to these legislators, how long they're going to be stuck staying out of the state. And I'm really proud of them because a lot of Democrats have become known, especially in recent years, for being spineless pieces of shit, as one might say, including me. So I'm really proud of them.
Yeah.
This is a very spineful move, and I applaud you, Texas state legislators who are Democrats.
Yeah. I'll say a lot of the state reps, at least, I have more respect for than the like national level Democrats.
Yes.
Because you don't become a Democrat state rep in Texas. Like, you know what you're getting into. And so they're so disempowered by the already prolific gerrymandering in the state that
Mm-hmm.
like they just can't play the same kind of tepid power games that the National Democratic Party plays. So the state reps have always been a little bit more feisty, especially in Texas at least, where I follow them a little bit more.
They're
But
feisty in New Mexico, and they have the majority, so it's pretty cool.
yeah, they're feisty in Texas in a way that is unfortunately like kind of in service of nothing.
Well, not today.
Not today. Yeah, no, I mean they're
There's
doing it, and
yeah.
this is, as much as the news tries to paint it otherwise, a tool in the playbook. You know, a tool in the playbook. So that's how intense it is. They're mixing metaphors, and
That's how you know things are really bad.
yeah, I don't know. I'm proud of them for doing it. We'll see if it ends up making a difference. I will say a little insider information because my parents were in one of these proposed redistricts. They went to one of the town halls about it in Houston, and the information they were basically being told there as a community is that after the most recent redistricting, the sort of legitimate one after the census, but that was still horrifically gerrymandered. Yeah. A
For
bunch
those
of,
listening, I just did a ton of air quotes
yeah, so many air quotes.
around legitimate.
Some some groups representing, like, I think especially Hispanic and Black populations in Houston had sued to say, hey, those are racist. And now the state of Texas is saying, oh, we got to change them because they were racist. So we're just doing what the people want, right? Well,
Uh,
I thought you wanted new districts. I
Not
didn't
like
use
that.
yeah. So and in any world where the rule of law still somewhat had any legitimacy in this country, and especially in that state, the fact that the president says, "Find me 5 more seats," and then like the state of Texas releases a plan to redistrict the area to condense like 5 more Republican districts should be enough for even a conservative Supreme Court to be like, okay, clearly what you're doing there is a political favor that you're trying to answer to the president, and that's not legitimate. Now, the question is, would we trust the Texas Supreme Court to say that? And then, even if they somehow did, would we trust the Supreme Court of the United States to confirm that?
Mm-hmm.
And my bets are on no.
Ding, Sarah. What a coincidence. My bets are similarly on no.
Which is cool. I mean, it's just like any
Oh,
pretense
cool.
that we live in like a law-based society, that the courts have any purpose at all anymore at that level.
Well, and it's no, I don't even have anything else to say. It's just what a big bummer, guys. Society's crumbling.
Big
Love
balls,
to
big
see it.
bummer. That's the only kind of stories we get these days.
What's the next big B we got to talk
Wow.
about?
Okay.
Um,
How about
big,
big
big
uh
budget.
big budget?
ICE has got
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I love that. Good transition.
Thank you. Thank you. I spent 10 years on it.
Wow.
I
A
know it's
big
actually my
budget.
10-year home
Is it?
anniversary this year. Yeah.
Wow.
In December, but it's coming.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Happy anniversary to me too. But more importantly, sad big budget.
Oh, yeah. So they got all this money and they're trying
Mhm,
to use it to recruit a
mhm.
bunch of new agents. And it seems like not that many people want to be ICE agents.
Really, Sarah? Why ever not?
I don't
But
know.
they're
I
gonna
mean, they're
repay your student loans now, Sarah.
repay student loans. You can get like a $10,000 boat signing bonus. You can make 6 figures. 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
What?
Full
And they just
benefits.
lowered the age minimum from 21 to 18.
Yeah, you
You
can
don't
go
even have
straight out
to
of high
have a full.
school.
Don't even have to have a fully developed frontal lobe. Just go. Just go beat people up. Do
Do you
it
need a high
without your.
school diploma?
I don't know. Probably not. Not
But
like
yeah,
that
you can.
matters that much after the COVID era.
Mhm.
But
Uh,
I think it's really ironic too that you all listeners will never hear the episode that never was, which you may or may not remember as the episode be fully recorded, but then had some technical difficulties, so it just doesn't exist anymore. But during that interview, not interview, I mean, we were interviewing each other perhaps. During that episode, we talked about how this new trans healthcare executive order tries to raise the age of what they consider youth, quote unquote, for the purposes of trans healthcare to be uh, instead of being 17, which is the last age that you are a youth, to 19, which is a
yeah.
huge leap.
To quote it, it's the executive order protecting children from chemical and surgical mutilation from January 28th of this year, 2025. Section 2A, the term child or children means an individual or individuals under 19 years of age.
Okay. So that's
Just
1 year jump because it used to be under 18. But that's not insignificant. That's a huge chunk of people.
And it's arbitrary and based on nothing.
Yeah. Well, and what I would hypothesize is that it's purposeful and based on an attempt to further infantilize young people in order to control them, because young people famously often do not agree with more conservative factions.
Yes.
But we can control them if we tell them that they're still children. So if you're
Mhm.
18, no mutilating yourself, but yes, mutilating others in ice.
100%. Yep. You're not allowed to, I don't even think you're allowed to get so much as like trans related anything under this bill. Um, yeah. But yes,
Yeah.
you can 100% tear people from their lives, tear apart families, forcibly abduct people from their homes, communities, jobs, friends, children, and ship them off to Somalia,
Mm-hmm. As long
whether
as you don't
they've
tear,
been there or not.
as long as you don't tear apart your endocrine system.
Yeah, God forbid. God
God
forbid.
forbid. Damn.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, and it's also notable that Big Balls is 19. I don't know how old he
Mm-hmm.
was when he joined Doge and started tearing apart the federal government. Um, yeah. I mean, you also only have to
Wow.
be 18 to join the military. You could be 17 with your parents' permission. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You could take out six-figure student loans when you're 18, and those will follow you for the rest of your life. And, well, you could join ICE, I guess, and get them forgiven. But
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it's all,
Uh,
you're a child when you're doing something they don't like. And
mm-hmm.
if you're beating up big balls on the streets of DC at the age of 15, you're a full grown adult who needs to be tried with the full force of the law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you say, listen, you can't stand having this pee-pee anymore, then fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Well, your prefrontal cortex doesn't finish developing until you're 25, actually.
Damn it. You
Yeah.
know, that makes sense because when I was 25, I was like, damn, I wish I didn't transition. I should have just been a sad, sad man for the rest of my life. I'm being
Well,
facetious,
yeah, I started
just for the
transitioning
people.
when I was 25. So I waited for my
Wow.
prefrontal cortex to finish developing and wasn't worth.
Wasn't worth, really?
No, I should have started earlier.
I mean, as someone who started quote unquote earlier, would recommend. Wish I started even earlier. I'm like jealous of these
Yeah,
little kids who are like in middle school and getting she heard at will.
yeah,
Like, I
I
want a
know.
hit of that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get.
Do you want to make some depressing called shots?
Some depressing what?
Called shots on the future? Do you want to make I've got some predictions to make, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yes. Yes, I want. Let's
All
predict
right.
depressingly.
Let's make some predictions. This is just where my brain is going, reading between lines, making connections between things. Full. I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is just, I'm painting a picture of a possible future here. And if it does happen, I'm a prophet and you should follow me religiously.
And if it's
So,
wrong, sorry. Calculations were off just a little
yeah,
bit. Try again next time.
children is anyone under 19 for now. Though they do make a big deal of talking about that prefrontal cortex thing. So the question to me is, how much longer is 18 going to be the voting age? And so I think they're going to try to creep that age up higher and higher. Why wouldn't they? They don't have the teen vote.
Mm-hmm.
So if that goes up higher and higher, now, that said, if you serve your government loyally as a first responder, a noble law enforcement officer, say, as an ICE agent, of course you get the right to vote because you've earned it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my called shot. I think they're going to try to creep that voting age up to like 21, except for people who like are ICE agents or in the military
Yeah. Or the police. I'm going to
or
throw
the
that in
police.
there.
Yeah, police. Yeah, why not?
Some kind of law enforcement career. And if you, I'm going to throw in a prediction in there. If you work for any kind of liberal establishment, then that means that you have proven that you are not worthy of voting. So, nonprofit organization that the administration doesn't agree with, no voting. Any kind
Oh,
of mental health diagnosis,
was
no
about to
voting.
say, yeah, if you have a mental health diagnosis on the books, you're obviously not allowed to vote. And of course, being queer of increasingly
Mm-mm.
any variety is going to count as a severe mental health disorder.
Except for dementia, because if you have dementia, you're still old and you still might vote conservative.
That's not a mental health disorder. Yeah,
what,
no,
what is
dementia,
it
that's a
then?
natural part of life.
Oh, but most mental health disorders aren't natural parts of life.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's going to be Trump derangement syndrome. There's going to be like the woke mind virus. I mean, who knows what mental
Oh,
disorders might make their way
no.
in?
I'm telling you right now, I have the woke mind virus and it got me good. I have a fever, and the fever that can only be broken by justice.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So those are some shots, some called shots. Yeah.
Wow. Well, now it's time for a new segment that we are going to maybe be doing some other times. I'm not making any promises, which is where I try and pull out some part of the news that is trans. Even if there's no trans news, I'll make trans news because what am I? Determined. Today's trans news is the fact that many trans people who were in the military for a period of time are now being denied retirement after they have been forcibly discharged from the military. And to that, I say two things. One, don't join the military. What are you doing? But second of all, I say a lot of the people who do join the military, I will give you grace if you are joining the military for the specific reason of they pay for stuff. That's why they get you. That's how they get you. It's because they'll pay for your school. They'll pay for a house. Have you ever heard of a VA loan? No down payment, crazy interest rates, all because you were willing to go shoot some people you didn't know, which yikes. But yes, not all military people are shooting people they don't know, but if you are in the military, you are supportive of that in some way. I'm sorry. It's true. It's implicit. Fight me. But I do feel some modicum of empathy. One, because they're trans and I'm trans, and that sucks that they're being discriminated against as trans people. But two, because a lot of people, because they join the military for these reasons, in order to get these benefits, such as a sweet, sweet retirement package one day at a younger age, they're not getting that. They're not getting the very reason that they join the military for some people. And that sucks because that's why some people join in the first place.
Too many people, too many people are getting fucked over. But I agree. Why are you in the military? I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want you to get fucked over, but also like, what are we doing?
Yeah. The first time there was a trans military ban, because this ain't the first time. If you're young enough that you don't remember the first time, count your blessings. But the first time, I was like, this is great because now I have several reasons I'm not allowed to join the military. Because I was really scared as a young person of getting drafted because that was a legit thing. My dad was drafted and barely got out of it because he has a serious heart condition that still affects him to this day. It sucks that he has that condition, but he would have been drafted otherwise. I have an old dad, okay? But that always hung over me as a young adult and adult, especially one that's assigned male at birth. And now they can't get me. I'm too trans for them. So I'm sorry for all the trans people that have been forced to leave the military, but I'm glad that you can now find a job that doesn't support imperialism as much. That's pretty cool. And to all the trans people who aren't in the military, congrats. Now you don't have to be in the military because you literally can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess like it's tricky. Like it's bad legally if trans people can't be in the military because that's just, especially if that's allowed to stand as something legitimate, because that just provides precedent for more kinds of exclusionary policies.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's all fucked.
We can't use that as the conclusion to everything, Sarah.
Yeah, we have to, though. It kind of just is the case, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is all fucked.
Right?
And I'm not against like us having a force like for defense purposes. Sure, like whatever, I get it. But America has by far the largest military in the world. It's the biggest part of our budget. Is so unnecessary, and it
Yeah.
supports so many atrocities across the world. So, like, I'm not saying all well, I don't know. I'm not saying that all military across the world is bad. I'm not saying that either, though. But I am saying that American military and imperialism, as it stands, bad news bears. Get out of there if you can.
I will say all military is bad. The world would be a
Okay.
better place if there were no militaries.
Yeah. But then you get the age old thought question, philosophy person, which is, well, what do you do if there's one military and then one else has a military and then they go kill everyone?
You kill them.
Got him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're right, but that's I don't have an answer for you.
No,
I'm
me
too
neither.
depressed. I'm too depressed and too tired to have a good answer, except that that kind of logic can be used to justify so many ungodly horrors.
Hmm.
It's the same kind of logic that has Texas politicians saying every teacher should be forced to carry a gun. So,
That's a really good response, honestly. I think
yeah.
that's true. It's like violence just begets more violence, and what's the stopping point?
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for a little fun section now. We're introducing a
Oh,
new fun little segment.
yes. What's the fun segment, Sarah? I'm so excited to have fun.
Yeah, this is our new fun little segment that we're starting here where Kat and I are going to watch something that we don't want to watch. Uh, we're
Goody.
gonna, yeah, um, we're gonna force ourselves to watch something we otherwise wouldn't want to watch at all, and that'll be cool.
And
That'll
you
be
can
good.
have some Schadenfreude in us, and we'll watch it so you don't have to.
Yeah. Should we make them watch it with us?
Yeah. So
Okay,
now we
cool.
all get to watch it together.
So yeah, so you're gonna watch this with us. We're all gonna watch this together. We're gonna see how long we can handle it. That's
Wow.
the game.
That's the game.
That's the
And what's the
game.
prize?
The prize is, I guess, um, unfortunately, we have to watch bad things in order to stay abreast of the developments in fascism and in the increasingly fascist media takeover. And as much as we'd both love to ignore it, if everyone who isn't a fascist ignores it, then they just keep doing it. And so that's not actually a solution. So the prize is maybe our suffering is in service of its help. It helps.
So you're basically saying that we're stopping fascism by watching what we're about to watch, right?
I'm saying that if we didn't watch it, we would be enabling fascism. Right?
No, I
I
think
mean,
you're
that's
right. I think
true.
you're right. You're right. So we're enabling the prize is we enable fascism less.
The prize is there's no prize. There's nothing good here. There's no prize. The prize is the prize. Yeah, I don't know, Cat. the the world is bad. The world is bad, but we must bear witness.
It's feeling a lot like Mad Max Fury Road up in here.
Witness me. Yes, Kat and I are both going to take a hit of silver spray paint and dive into the video. Greg Gutfeld got fired a lot before landing on Fox. Talks, what did I miss on The Tonight Show? Because
Oh,
if you didn't
do
know,
I?
Greg Gutfeld, fascist comedy Fox personality, was a very special guest on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show.
How long
And
is this, Sarah?
well, the video is 10 minutes. We're not going to watch the 10 minutes, but I'm
Let's
curious
see how
like what they
long we
talk about
last. I'll
because
watch
this
it
this comes this comes a week less, a week and a half, I don't know, mere weeks at most after Greg Gutfeld was trying to reclaim the word Nazi on
That was the same
Fox's The
guy.
Five. That's this guy.
Oh no. Was that also in our episode that never was?
Oh yeah. So I guess we can play that clip too.
Let's not.
No, let's watch that. Let's watch that for
Oh,
context
okay.
before we see this person Jimmy Fallon had on his show.
Okay. 2 for 1 special on the first
Yep.
episode of using this bit.
Yep.
Wow, I
So
didn't realize that was the same guy.
that was
Oh,
the same
wow.
guy.
And his last name is too close to mine for comfort.
Gutfeld? Oh yeah, I guess so.
I
So,
like it.
let's see. Where's a good clip of this?
So much to say that I've said several times, and I will shorten it to this. This is just the slow introduction of Nazism being accepted back into society once again. Time is
And
a circle.
it's not that slow.
No, the
Okay.
quick reintroduction of Nazism back into culture. And to draw a comparison between Nazism and being black and is just like, you can choose not to be a Nazi. I'll have everyone know today, right now. If we have any Nazis listening, you don't have to do this.
Yeah. So that was about a month ago. A little less than a month ago. So less than a month after that clip about how we should reclaim the word Nazi, Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Show has him on as a guest. And that's what we're going to watch now. So we did not end up making you watch it. We actually did watch it, all 10.5 minutes of it. It was basically just really boring and him telling bad stories and making unfunny jokes, which isn't surprising. There was one interesting bit. So he's there to promote a new game show. What did I miss? Where they lock people up in a house for 100 days and then quiz them on the news. And they do like true or false statements about the news. And it was really interesting that he was like, and like the best part is with Trump, you never know, right? Like, you never know what Trump's going to do.
Yeah, it's almost like he enjoys the chaos of the presidency.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because he's an entertainer, and not only an entertainer, but a political entertainer. He's on Fox News, a political entertainment channel. So it's probably really good for viewership and really good for his pocketbook. And the policies probably don't affect him directly, so he can just watch it all detachedly and be like, wow, how silly.
That's the main sense I got actually watching that. Like, he doesn't seem to actually be motivated by any kind of strong ideology. He just seems like someone who wanted to be famous and working in entertainment. Like,
yeah,
he said the reason he started his very first show at Fox was because he was broke and unemployed.
Yeah, and he just needed a job, and he likes to just talk loudly and unfunnily, but in a way that makes people laugh, I guess.
Yeah.
And honestly, it like almost makes me, I say almost very purposefully, but it almost makes me reframe that first clip that we played.
Same.
Because, like, based on the first clip, it's like, oh, this guy's just a Nazi and he's saying it. And then my reaction now after seeing this 10-minute clip is like, maybe he's not an active Nazi, but to him, whether or not someone is actually a Nazi doesn't matter. It's like this apathy, which I don't know if that's, I can't say if it's worse or better. It's just also bad.
Yeah. It's a complete, like, yeah, it's, it, I had the same thought. Like, oh, okay. So maybe then with that Nazi joke, he really was just trying to be an edgelord.
Yeah,
And
which is profitable for Fox News.
and I would guess like he's aware maybe of some kind of role that he plays in normalizing that shit, but doesn't that's not why he does it. He does it because he gets paid and he is a bad comedian, and that's why the only place he works is on Fox.
You mean, Sarah, you didn't laugh at his story about him and Jimmy Fallon being drunk for 3 minutes?
No, it was one of the longest, most boring stories I've ever heard.
Damn, it's crazy
Yeah,
because I completely agree with you.
yeah.
It's
No,
like a story
it's.
you'd tell when you were also drunk. Maybe he was also drunk, TBH.
I mean, he was talking about how drunk he is for all his shows, so
Yeah, he was talking about Red Eye, this first show that he did at Fox, and about how when he was there, every single person was drunk, including the cameraman. And so maybe that includes him.
yeah. To him, it seems like it's really cool not to care about anything or try or know stuff. You know?
But then it's like, it reinforces for me, like I already knew Fox News was not a real news station, but The Five, the TV show, I know about it because my dad used to watch it, which we could circle back to that one day. But my dad used to watch it and he was like, it's my favorite show on Fox, which also cringe that you have a favorite, but whatever. It's my favorite show on Fox because they have these five people with different perspectives and they have these like educated opinions about the news. And knowing that that's one of the guys who's basically just like a drunk bad comedian, like who doesn't have any political training or experience that I know of, and maybe he does, and if you can correct me about that if you want, but political commentary and drunk bad jokes are not two things that mesh for me personally.
Yeah. I don't know how much it is that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Um, it's bad. So, oh, also Jessica Tarlov, who's the person who said Nazi please and was trying to yes and the bit with Greg Gut.
Yeah,
For what
racist
it's
in so many
worth,
ways. Ugh.
yeah, for what it's worth, she is a political strategist for the Democratic Party. Who,
Wow.
yeah. So her job is to be the liberal on Fox News, and she's been doing that, it seems, for over a decade. So,
Wow. How much of her do you think A, regrets saying Nazi please, but B, said, I mean, I'm not even going to finish that list because I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Like, a lot of those people, especially that interview, it gave me some context to the minds of like these political entertainers. A lot of them just do it because they need to make money and make a living, and not because they actually like deeply believe the random things that they say. I'm not saying that gives them an excuse. It actually makes it worse, in my opinion. But like the Nazi please girl, I can imagine the calculus in her head being like, well, this is fucked up that we're normalizing Nazis, but also I want to keep my job. So I'm just going to yes and this so we can move on.
yeah, I would say she probably doesn't need the money.
Mm.
Um,
Are you Googling her?
yeah. Yeah, I mean
Damn.
her dad is a director with a with a Wikipedia page.
Damn.
Yeah.
Then I'm being too forgiving.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
maybe there's just Nazi Democrats too, which would not surprise me at all.
well, I think I don't know. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she's doing that. She's also Jewish, and like I've read in the past about her like getting mad at one of the fucking co-hosts on the Five. I assume Greg Gutfeld for like Holocaust jokes that had been made in the past.
Wow.
So
But
it's
she
just a
yes
big
and did
turn
this
for
one?
her. Yeah,
That's
I
wild.
don't I don't fucking know. I mean, I think she's a political strategist for the Democratic Party, but maybe she's just one of those people just trying to read where the winds are blowing. If you're an actual if you actually care and have an ideology, you're probably not a co-host of the Five. So,
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of Democrats and probably Republicans, a lot of people are trying to read where the wind is blowing and just do whatever's most convenient for them. I mean, being Democrat was cool for a while, and now it's
yeah.
cringe. And even and some Democrats are trying to. I mean, I agree, being a Democrat is cringe, but it's because they don't actually stand for anything, in my opinion, uh, other than like all the platitudes that you see on yard signs.
Yeah. I mean,
And even
apparently
then,
she said the reason she's on that show is because she wants to represent the majority of American people while showing viewers that ideological foes can get along, and added, as I'm just reading from her Wikipedia page, but she added that being on the most watched show is a strategic move for her political career.
there you go. It's all about her.
hmm Just like for Greg Gutfeld, it's all about him. I
God
think he would have
forbid you
done,
have a principle or two.
yeah. I think if CNN had been like, hey, Greg Gutfeld, we want our own The Daily Show, will you host that? He would have done that too. Like, I don't think he's
Yep.
motivated by anything.
Yeah. Which is a bummer because there are some political comedians who do seem to stand for something. For example, John Oliver and Jon Stewart. I believe that they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And um it it sucks because part of me wants to say like, hey, you should discount stuff that's political comedy and not actually taking like a stance, but also some of the political comedy does take a stance. So I don't know what my conclusion is here.
I think, yeah, I definitely think Jon Stewart and John Oliver et al. Genuinely believe in what they're saying. I think it's a bummer that we live in a society where the supposed opposition party um, became so corporately captured and became such a monolith of centrist interests that it had to come down to comedians like them to actually have any public critique of conservatives in power.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I mean, they shouldn't be playing that role in a healthy society. And I think they know that.
that's a great
Like,
point.
yeah.
And they've been playing this role for a while. And so I think that's something to say about like for anyone who feels like this all came out of nowhere. We've been on a path. And maybe that path was a little winding, but we've been on a path for a while towards something like this.
And I think a lot of people just don't care about truth or they have a different understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like Greg Gutfeld, I don't think cares about what's true or not. Like he cares about Greg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. But it part of what made Colbert stop doing the Colbert Report is that he realized that he was very popular amongst conservatives as the character Stephen Colbert that he played, which was
Interesting.
supposed to be a very obvious parody of like a Fox News guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he was super popular with conservatives because they didn't get the joke. And they thought they understood that the show was a comedy. It was on Comedy Central, but they thought that what was funny was watching him troll his liberal guests. They didn't understand that he was making fun of them.
Mm.
And that's why he stopped doing like that character and doing parody and moved to The Late Show because he was like, oh, I realized like what I was doing didn't work. It was good comedy. My fans liked it, but it was actually harmful, like for my
Yeah.
political interests.
Yeah. And look at him now. He took principled stand on his political interests, and what did he get him? Fired.
Yeah. And then Jimmy Fallon has Greg Gutfeld on and he doesn't ask him about how he wants to reclaim the word Nazi. So
They just tell a silly story about how they were drunk 15 years ago and then actually give Greg Gutfeld and Fox News more publicity for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, NBC. Thanks, Jimmy.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
So that's cool.
Ah, I think that leaves us in a very nice place for this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Was there anything else? Oh, last week I said I was going to do a deep dive on this guy, Johnny Moore,
Yeah.
who is the chief executive person at the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I have not forgotten that. I just am not ready to do that justice yet. So I'm going to try to do that next week.
Heck yeah.
Otherwise, I guess just because we should acknowledge it, the situation in Gaza is ongoing. I believe now at least 5 Al Jazeera journalists have now been killed by the IDF. I think that might have been all their journalists who were there.
It was all of their journalists have been killed by the IDF. So we'll continue to post links to support Gaza and humanitarian aid.
Yeah.
And in addition, that community member I spoke about last week that was abducted by ICE, still abducted. And in addition, ICE has been starting to have more presence in Las Cruces. I knew it would happen eventually, but damn, still disappointed that it's happening. So we'll also continue to post more links if you want to support Las Cruces.
So yeah, the ongoing bad situations continue to be bad.
Yep.
Anyway,
well, thanks for joining us on trying to process the bad, and just know that you're not alone in the bad, because we're here too.
Did we want to try to do one bit of hope again?
Yeah.
Return to that?
I do, even if it's hard sometimes. My hope is that actually the Texas Democrats, I am really proud of them. And I've felt really poo-poo on the Democratic Party, if you couldn't tell by every single thing I said about the Democratic Party on any of these podcast episodes. And I'm really proud of them. So maybe that is going to mean something. And I hope it does.
Yeah. I like that.
What about you?
Oh God, I wasn't prepared.
Anything in your personal life?
Yes. My source of hope is that no. I mean, I'm just not prepared to point out a specific thing. So I'll do my ongoing, I guess I have this sort of root hope that's been propelling me forward since the election, which is the way that I'm optimistic right now is just sort of hoping that the whole system burns down to ash and leaves a new and fertile soil for new experiments in human social organization to finally sprout. And I kind of see our job right now is to prevent the fascists from being able to establish a strong enough follow-up to the collapsing American state, and leave that fertile soil so that those new things in the future can sprout up without a jackboot to crush them. And I know a lot of people feel like what we need to do right now is figure out what it will replace it. And that's the next step. Right now we're in defense. We're playing defense. So that's, to me, my hope, is I do still think that's possible. That's a lot more possible than having the whole plan for the replacement and the revolution, to me. But to me, it's like, if we can play defense and just keep that soil ready for the next generations of humans to plant new and beautiful seeds, that's something that feels achievable.
I love that. That's a great one. Even if you say the same thing every week, I'm happy with that.
I'm just going to keep saying that.
That's fine.
That's it.
I'll be the variety. You be the grounding force.
Great.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for listening. I'm Kat.
I'm Sarah. we'll be back next week to keep processing the news. We'll probably still be sad, but who knows? Maybe someone will have assassinated Elon Musk. So that could be fun.
A girl can dream.
Yeah. Not that we're advocating it. It's just that like
Absolutely not.
if
Yeah.
somebody wants to.
A girl can dream, not us. Just a
Yeah.
girl.
A girl. Yeah.
Many girls dream, and I hope that
Lots
they
of girls
continue to
dream.
dream. Yeah.
And some of those
Mhm.
girls dream about Elon Musk being assassinated.
That's their business,
Yeah.
not mine.
Anyway, catch you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.